Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining today's webinar, co-hosted by YCP and Confluences. We are going to talk about how leading multinational corporations, foreign companies have been successful in Cambodia by picking up lessons, their success lessons, and also to provide insight how your company can win in Cambodia. My name is Gary from YCP.
Yes, and I'm Dara from Confluences.
Let us do our quick introduction. We are YCP, and YCP is a consulting firm established in Tokyo, Japan in 2011, with the headquarters right now moved to Singapore. We have 22 offices globally, mostly concentrated in Asia, with 500 plus professionals. We are a listed company in Tokyo Stock Exchange and have experience of handling 10,000 plus projects. We do not have presence in Cambodia, and we are official solution partner for Confluences in Cambodia. Our services include transaction service, consulting, etc. Those are two related services, solutions for today's audience. For transaction services include M&A strategy formulation, and after the strategy formulated, we help clients find targets, buyers, or the potential investment targets. And for companies that was identified, we provide financial advisory, valuation, M&A negotiations. In addition to that, for identified targets, we can conduct commercial due diligence. And for after the acquisitions, we can also provide post-merger integration support for our clients. For consulting, a lot of our work is based on go-to-market strategy, helping global companies, multinational corporations enter Asia because we have a footprint in a lot of cities in Asia. Market diagnosis for companies who have already been in the market, also PMO services for companies who have troubles in the country. We are always on the ground to support our clients and provide operation improvement such as cost reduction, sales enhancement, and so on. Handing over to you, Dara.
Yes, so again, I'm Dara. So now I will introduce you about Confluences. So as you may hear from my accent, I'm French Cambodian. And so I'm the Market Access Manager. So Confluences is based in Phnom Penh. So we also have offices in Siem Reap. And today we have a team around 40 employees. And so our founders have been present in Cambodia and ASEAN region for more than 20 years now. And so this year we are proud to be celebrating our 10 years anniversary. And so over the past decade, we have supported more than 300 clients. And this includes corporations, startups, and entrepreneurs. And through this journey, we have become a trusted local partner for companies entering the Cambodian market. So our services are organized around three main areas. So we have Confluence Access. This is the department that I manage directly. So we support foreign companies in entering the Cambodian market through market studies, trade mission, industrial location. We also do sourcing and also field research, such as surveys. Then the second department is Confluence Operation. So this includes our corporate services, such as business registration, IP registration. We do import license or export license also. We have also HR solution. So it includes recruitment, payroll, EOR services. We also have office services. So right now we operate like a 900 square meter business center with open space and private office. And currently we host more than 30 companies. Basically, we offer the services to support the day-to-day business operation. And then the last one is Confluence Capital. So this cover of financial and strategic advisory. It's including M&A support, fundraising, and transaction structuring. So in short, Confluences, we combine the market expertise, the operational support, and the financial advisory to act as a catalyst for business opportunities in Cambodia. So now, Gary, I think let's move on to Cambodia itself.
Yes, please share insights about Cambodia.
Yes. So I'd just like to start with something recent. So you may have heard about the border tension between Cambodia and Thailand. And so despite this dispute, the economy in Cambodia was not impacted and it has continued to perform. So the business operation remains stable. And so as we often say, in every crisis, there's always opportunities, right? And so we can move on now to the GDP per capita, I think. So Cambodia, so according to the World Bank, Cambodia was recorded as $2,430 in 2024, which is a huge increase compared to the early 2000, sorry. And it is expected to reach about $3,906 by 2030. And so when we look at the income level, Cambodia has already passed the requirement to graduate from the least developed country status, and we became a lower middle income countries in 2015. And now the target is to reach the upper middle income by 2030 and a high income country by 2050. And now I think let's look at the facts. So for the fact, we may be a small country with a population of 17 million, but we are one of the most open markets in the region. Because Cambodia allows 100% foreign ownership, which means you don't need a local partner. There's also no foreign exchange control. So if a foreign company makes a profit in Cambodia, you can freely transfer it back to your headquarters, for example. And on top of that, there is also a tax incentive for large investments. Another strong advantage is the young population. So more than 65% are under 30 years old, which is the Generation Z. And this brings so a strong consumer demand for new products and services and also digital solutions. And finally, also, we remain competitive for the low labor cost. So with an average around $10 US per day. So then we can move on to the case study. So just to better illustrate this, we have chosen 5 case studies. So these are 5 foreign-owned companies from different sectors, different countries of origins, and different sizes. Each of them, they found a way to succeed in Cambodia. So the first case is ABA. So it's the first bank in Cambodia. Then we have Aeon Mall. It's the first mall operator in Cambodia. Then we have Minibea, which is the largest industrial employer. We have also La Plantation, who is the market leader in pepper plantation. As you may know, Cambodia is quite famous for the pepper production. And we have the last one, RMA, who is the market leader in automotive and F&B.
Thank you. So let's start the case study. Can you explain to us who ABA Bank is?
Yes. So ABA is a Canadian group. It was founded in 1996 and it transformed rapidly after to become the first fully digital bank in Cambodia. They have an app and they have also QR code payment. And it became so popular, it's a fun fact, that the name of ABA entered also the everyday language. So for example, when we make the QR code payment by scanning, we don't say in Cambodian, we don't say like, can I scan the QR code, but we say like, can I scan your ABA? So So that's why. And so Gary, can you explain maybe how ABA becomes so successful?
Sure. To illustrate how successful ABA has been, I would like to bring three banks, leading banks in Cambodia, namely ABA, AC Leda, and Canada. So these are the three major banks in Cambodia. To compare them to three banks in quantitative way, we brought total assets in US billion dollars on x-axis, and on y-axis we have net profit in US billion dollars. So 0.1 means $100 million. Okay, so to start, Canada in 2004, 20 years ago, they were very small. They had 100 million or $200 million total asset size, making around only $10 million net profit. AC data was also more or less the same, slightly smaller than Canada around that time. ABA was even smaller, almost half of Canada in 2004. Let's see how they have grown in the next 10 years until 2014. Canada surprisingly grew their business almost, it's nearly 20 times in revenue, in asset. Net profit also doubled in the 10 years time. So we can see that their growth has been very sharp in between 2004 and 2014. Let's see, AC data falling behind a little bit, but in terms of growth, it was much faster. So trying to catch up with Canada, AC data also achieved around 10 times growth in the 10 years. How about ABA? Actually, was poorer. Their growth was also fast, but not as much as Canada or AC data did. What happened to ABA in 2014, however, is they accepted share acquisition by National Bank of Canada. So we call it NBC. NBC acquired 30% of stake in ABA in 2014. And that's where they started a new journey. So this is 2014, it's already 11 years ago. Let's see what has happened to these three banks in the last 10 years. Canada continued to grow, doubling their asset, doubling their net profit over the last 10 years. Great achievement. AC data grew even faster than that, tripled their revenue, their asset size, and doubled their net profit. ABA, after NBC's acquisition, however, has done the greatest job making their asset size more than 6 times over the last 10 years and surpassed their peers, Canada and Esideda, much further in terms of asset, but also in profit, it has almost 10 times, tenfold over the last 10 years. So unarguably, ABA right now is the biggest and most successful bank in Cambodia.
But so why is it so successful?
Right. So let's take a look at ABA from two angles. One is about capital, so money. Also, their qualitative support that NBC has done to ABA. So talking about the capital on the left-hand side, these are the comparison of three banks. How much capital was injected or invested over the years. So light blue color is from 2014 to 2018. So right after NBC, National Bank of Canada, invested in ABA, for the first couple of years, they were not investing in capital too much. In fact, the amount of capital that was injected was $129 million. Compared to the other competitors, the amount was lower. But the last 5 years, from 19 to 24, this amount invested by MBC was exceeding $1 billion, while the other two competitors, Canada did a good job, but still much higher than the other two competitors. Why did they do that? Why did MBC invested this much? MBC must have believed in ABA's long-term growth, long-term success, namely Cambodia's economy growth. So they were able to consistently invest in more capital than competitors did. Another angle was about the qualitative support assistance, what MBC has done to ABA. It's mostly about discipline and also global standard. So first of all, what ABA has done using this capital is to make the company, make this ABA bank being in the first truly digital first bank in Cambodia. As Dara shared from the local insights, people talk about ABA as an app or QR code payment. Another aspect was to introduce Canadian or her global standard risk management framework to the ABA, while others were not. Another aspect was to implement strong HR systems and development program to attract and retain good talents. You might see these are something very common in your home country, or banks in your home country. I don't think National Bank of Canada was doing something very special, but what they have done is to do what they are doing in the home market, or bringing the global practice to Cambodia. So that was the big difference between the two other local banks, AC Data and Canada. So this was the case about the banking sector. Let's look at the other sector.
Yes, so our second case is Aeon Mall. It's a Japanese company. So Aeon has entered Cambodia in 2014 with the first mall they opened in the city center. And since then, they have expanded to other malls, one in 2018 and one in 2022. And now today, Aeon is more than just a shopping center. It has become like a weekend destination for Cambodian families. And it's a place where people, they don't do only shopping, but they also hang out, they eat, and they spend their leisure times together. And so, Gary, so what's made Aeon so successful in Cambodia?
All right. So as Dara mentioned, Aeon has 3 branches in Cambodia, or in Phnom Penh, the capital of Cambodia. You see the purple the balls here in the map, located in one in the city center and also 2 in outskirts of the city. Aeon is not the only players running this shopping mall operation. So there are competitors called Chipmunk, also OCIC. Let's take a look at the comparison to show how Aeon was successful compared to the other two. Number of malls. In terms of number of the malls, Aeon is not the largest. Chipmunk has 5. OCIC also has 2. Okay. However, they are running the shopping malls, so they have tenants in the mall. In terms of number of the tenants or the shops or stores, Aeon has 700 plus, while the other two are half or less than that. Okay, occupancy this is very important. So how many tenants occupy this mall space? This is critical for the mall operations. And Aeon is much more advantageous to the other competitors in this number. So have most, I'd say 90% occupancy, meaning that only 10% of the shopping mall has, empty spots. So this is very healthy situation. While the other two are not doing very good, meaning 50% means if you go to the shopping mall, you might have half of the space empty without any shops. Next, visitor, a number of the visitors per mall. Aeon, on average, make 10 million visitors, while Chipmunk and OCIC do 1/10 of that, regardless of the malls that they have, regardless of the size of number of the malls that they have. Lastly, visitors per square meters. Aeon achieves 70 visitors per square meters, while the other two companies even less than 1/3. This shows how successful Aeon is in Cambodia.
So why does it continue to stand out now?
Right. So let's take a look at, the cumulative gross floor area of the mall operators. The purple one is Aeon. OCIC was also operating in 2014 together with Aeon, but Aeon clearly came in as the big player as a first mover. Chipmunk came in 2018 and started the operation, achieving almost the half of the Aeon. However, cannot surpass this. As you saw the key performance indicators on previous page, their utilization or occupancy rate is much lower. Attractiveness to the visitors was also much lower. We can conclude that Aeon achieved the first mover advantage, being the large-scale operation instantly in the market. So to exemplify, it's like a whale coming to a pond so that other players cannot really play anymore. And qualitatively, please take a look at these photos. Appearance, interior, also the ambience. You cannot believe that this is in Cambodia. This is a global standard shopping malls. So what Aeon has done is just to provide uncompromising global standards. So they brought in global standards to Cambodia. Let's take a look at another industry, manufacturing. Dara?
Okay. So our third case study is Minebea. It's a Japanese manufacturing company. And so Minebea, they entered Cambodia in 2011, and it's now the largest industrial employer in the country. And it is located in the special economic zone in Phnom Penh, and it's an area where it is strongly dominated by Japanese investors. But so, Gary, what explains their strong position in the country?
Hey. Well, Minebea is a manufacturer focused on producing products in Cambodia and export it. So technically speaking, they are not in competition with any companies in terms of their products. But as an employer, their competitors are other manufacturers because, of course, they are in the competition to hire people, workers. Let's take a look how they have grown over the years and how they plan to grow. First of all, investment size. They started their business in 2011 with $23 million investment. Okay, modest size, but not too large. However, up till this point, over the last 14 years, they accumulated investment they made in Cambodia is $600 million. And they will plan to invest another $700 million, accumulative amount to be $1.3 billion. That's a huge amount for Cambodia. Facility size, they started with one rental plant that has 2,300 square meters. Now their operations are spread into 3 plants owned by themselves with 100,000 square meters. That's huge. Most surprisingly, they're going to make their factory up to 600,000 square meters. This shows how much Minebia is seeing the market or seeing Cambodia as an attractive place to manufacture products. Number of employees started from 900, now 7,000, and then making this operation double the operation in the future up to 15,000. It's almost like a city. Product focus also started from precision bearings. Precision bearings requires meticulous workers. So it's a precision product. So there has to be a lot of the detail in the process and requires, let's say, the workers who are patient to do a lot of meticulous work. And Minebia found this Cambodia, especially Cambodian ladies, workers, have very good talent in handling these type of products. So they started from precision bearings, they expanded their product to motors, actuators, LEDs. And they're going to start another production of smart, clean devices, new industrial tech. These are the photos. So they started from very humble rental factory. Now you see in the middle, it's a gigantic factory that caters to 7,000 employees. And on the right-hand side, it's in progress. They have already secured the land to build 600,000 square meters size land in Cambodia. This shows how much they're betting for the future in Cambodia.
And so how successful has been Minebia compared to other countries also?
Yes. As I said, Minebia's competitors are other employers, so other factories based in Cambodia. But from manufacturing companies' viewpoint, Cambodia is not necessarily the most popular destination to produce something. These are the comparison of Cambodia versus peers, other Southeast Asian countries, comparable Southeast Asian countries, in terms of number of manufacturing enterprises. In Vietnam, there are 122,000 factories or entities operating as a manufacturer, followed by Thailand's 70,000, Indonesia's 32,000, Malaysia's 32,000, Philippines 25,000, while Cambodia only has 2,000. So as you see, it's not a popular market to manufacture products. Minebia eyed on this and entered as one of the first mover, because there was low industry competition to hire people. And another important aspect is wage. Southeast Asia is known for low cost labor. So that's why a lot of global companies start the production in Southeast Asia, especially after this, there's a China geopolitical risk in China. Many companies start shifting factories or having another factory in Southeast Asia. Again, you see the minimum wage in each country. Malaysia, $4,600. Indonesia, $4,000. Philippines, $3,600. Thailand, $3,000. Cambodia, $2,500. Vietnam, $2,400. You might see Vietnam is actually lower than Cambodia, but this is minimum wage stipulated by the law. But in Vietnam, in reality, or in Thailand, they actually pay much higher than this. So you can see from the graph that Cambodia is still the most price or cost competitive market to produce products. So these are the reasons why Minivia went into the Cambodia or chose Cambodia as a country to produce things. And they have been very successful because not many companies are in the market to hire people. So they don't face fierce competition to hire people, while labor costs remain very, very low, which makes makes the manufacturer happy. Okay, so another case is from agriculture. Dara?
Yes. So the next case is La Plantation, which sounds very French because the founders are from France and Belgium. And so, like I said earlier, Cambodia is famous for the pepper production, located in the Kampot region. So it's the region in the south of Cambodia. And so La Plantation developed a fully integrated agribusiness model. So they go from cultivation and the process to the export abroad. And they also do some direct sales to consumers, and they also do now hospitality. And despite being located in the countryside, they have truly created like a destination. And right now they attract over 300 visitors per day. And so they have built a reputation as a leading example for agritourism in Cambodia. And so Gary, can you explain how successful La Plantation has been?
Right. Let's take a look at the annual production of Kampot pepper. It was produced in Cambodia for of course, it's our original product in Cambodia. Had 23 tons a year. And this 2013 was the year that La Plantation started their the business, founded by Belgian and French couple. In 2023, this production level has skyrocketed up to almost six-fold, 6 times of the previous 10 years ago. And La Plantation produces almost about 20% market share in this, despite they started just 10 years ago. Well, what makes La Plantation so special is that Kampot pepper was, again, indigenous, pepper species in Cambodia, of course, locally consumed, but not many people knew about this. But La Plantation was the company that made this product out to the market, global market. So it's now recognized as Cambodia's most prized and probably the highest priced agricultural product. And La Plantation, they applied for Protected Geographical Indication, PGI certification at an early stage, and made this they were the first company to be certified as PGI. And they also did the intensive marketing among the Michelin star chefs, most likely in France and Europe. So chefs, by word of mouth, they spread this brand, La Plantation peppers, in Europe.
So why is La Plantation so successful then? How did they do it?
Okay. So simply speaking, La Plantation has done a vertical integration from farming till sales. But let's take a look at one by one. So it's a plantation business. So they started from farming. Now it's the largest plantation in Kampot province. Not just that, they have taken this processing, drying and also processing, packaging on site. So they do own processing by themselves, and they export by themselves to 30 plus countries. Not just that, they do in-house direct-to-consumer marketing in Cambodia and operate also shops, online shops, offline shops to market this product. Last but not least, they are also known for agri-tourism destination. It's number 1 destination as an agri-tourism operator. So yes, this is the vertical integrated value chain that they provide. But is this very special in your home country operating this agribusiness model like this? Perhaps not, especially in France or Europe. This is a relatively common approach. Why they were successful? The short answer is no one was doing this in Cambodia. They brought in this global practice or practice in Europe, simply brought in Cambodia, and that's what they have done, and that's why they were successful. Let's move on to the last case in automotive F&B. Dara?
So the final case study is RMA. So it's an American Thai company. So RMA, they have entered Cambodia with the Ford brand. And since then, they have grown from the leader in automotive and also F&B business. So the fun fact about RMA, they bring the first fast food to Cambodia in the early 2000s with the brand, the pizza company. And it was so successful that, for example, people stood in long queues for the opening, and the stores were completely out of stock for almost 2 weeks after the opening. So Gary, can you explain how was RMA able to achieve such a success so quickly?
Sure. RMA, we were able to achieve the revenue size from the public sources. So let me just show this that answers your question straightforward. Their business in 2019 was they were earning $300 million. Over the COVID period, they successfully grew their business 50% up to $450 million in revenue in 2023. Why they were so successful? Let's see the historical path, how they grew the business. Starting from Ford distributor business. RMA had operation in Thailand, and they were using their connection with Ford in Thailand. So when they started business in Cambodia, they started as Ford distributor. But distributor / dealer, because Ford sales was not that high. So they started for distributor dealership, and they were successful and able to gain new brands, premium car brands such as Jaguar, Mercedes, Land Rover, and heavy equipment brand called John Deere. Again, this is somewhat similar business to Ford dealership distribution. Interestingly, they expanded their business in different part of the value chain in automotive, which are car rental, car financing. So RMA Cambodia carries Avis car rental brand in Cambodia. Also, they set up a car financing company. It's called BSP Finance as a new service, using their automotive industry knowledge. And then lastly, for automotive, they have grown into production. again, using the existing relationship with Ford, they even expanded the business into assembly of Ford cars in Cambodia. By doing this, they grew this, covering the whole value chain of automotive industry, from making cars until selling cars and providing services, peripheral services such as rental or financing, regarding the sales. Interesting, not just that, RMA has used their experience in retail business to do pizza brand. Pizza Company is a Thai pizza brand, and they brought this brand to Cambodia and then made it successful so that they are now carrying international food franchise brands such as Swenson's, Texas Chicken, Boost, Krispy Kreme. And Barbecue Plaza is from Thailand, Thai brand. But yes, they carry various F&B brands, and that's where they are. RMA, again, to using the business know-how to grow the business vertically, also horizontally to different industry, using the extending their experience and knowledge of the market. Okay, so we took a look at 5 cases of successful multinational corporations or foreign companies operating in Cambodia. Let me summarize their key success factors and what Cambodia offers. We looked at ABA, Eon, Eon Mall, Minibia, La Plantation, RMA Cambodia. So to summarize key success factors, one factor was power play. What it means by power play is that capital that they deployed in Cambodia. So our ABA, Eon, Minibia, these are large global companies. They brought in large capital, invested in a relatively small market, and then at one point of time they grew, concentrated capital to grow the business. So that's why they were now a giant player in a small pond, and that's where they are. Secondly, introduce global standards, as we saw in the case of ABA, Eon, or La Plantation. What they do currently in Cambodia is not really anything new in the global markets, but they brought in this best practice global standards to Cambodia. Low competition also is a very important, interesting factor for Cambodia. Because, so Eon, Minibia, La Plantation, RMA has grown the business because there was little competition in the market. Vertical integration is also culmination of low competition, I would say, because La Plantation, RMA may not have full expertise in every sector that they run at this moment, but see the market opportunity to grow the business vertically so that they can, enjoy the higher margins without relying on external parties. What Cambodia offers, very importantly, 100% ownership, foreign ownership. So all these companies enjoy this biggest factor that Cambodia offers to foreign companies. High economic growth is also important. ABA, Eon, RMA, they were able to decide investment or large capital investment because there's a high growth in the consumption and economy. Low labor costs, young force is important for manufacturing companies where Minibia took advantage of. So overall in all, Cambodia still is a niche market. It's not the biggest country, but offers distinctive difference compared to the other Southeast Asian markets. And for these 5 successful players, eyed on this niche market, focused their resources, made a lot of money. Okay, We're not talking about $1 billion market size, maybe. However, these companies, some of them make several $100 million from the investment in Cambodia. So it's not that market is unattractive, but it's actually, it can be attractive to make several $100 million for multinational corporations if they act, if they find the market, and if they have the right strategy. And that's where YCP and Confluences can support your company. Lastly, we are going to talk about one just page to introduce how we can support our clients.
Yes. So usually when companies come to Cambodia, they usually have the same type of questions and needs. And so first, for example, they want a clear market and competitor insight. So they need to understand how the market works, who is the main players, and where are the opportunities.
YCP being a solution provider, we provide framework, also the research capabilities and skill, the skills. Working together with Confluences who are based in the country, we provide in-depth market research on competitions, also market sizing.
Yes, and then the second is the go-to-market strategy. So it's not enough to know about the market, but they also want a practical plan and how to enter and grow in this market also.
Again, based on this market insights, which Confluences has local team members to do a lot of interviews and speaking with the industry players, competitors, ex-employees. We will form strategy where to play, how to play for our clients.
Yes, and then the third one is that they look for trusted local partners or also distributors for their product or services.
We can definitely provide the long list of potential partners. We can contact those companies, distributors, or partners or customers on behalf of our clients, and then identify the local partner or customer distributor for you.
Yes, and then so many companies also wants to explore the acquisition and investment. So they are interested in buying into existing businesses or finding investment opportunities as well.
Together with Confluences, we can assist in identifying M&A targets, also provide financial advisory, meaning valuation advisory, negotiation, and due diligence on target companies that we found.
Yes, and finally, companies, they also need some trusted local resources to actually implement their projects. And mostly this include like on-the-ground support and sometimes some also, I don't know, local resources, yeah.
We provide, again, together with Confluences, offer hands-on execution, management dispatch services for multinational corporation clients who do not have adequate resources to be dispatched to Cambodia. We can take the management role for the 6 months to 1 year, if necessary, more than 1 year, on behalf of our clients.
Yes. So thank you everyone for joining this webinar. Actually, we have received some questions from participants, and for sure we'll reach out to you individually to provide some answers. And also, please feel free to contact us directly. So you have our contact. We'll also share the presentation. And again, thank you for joining. And just before closing, I'd like to share some exciting news because in the next few days, Cambodia new international airport will be open. And so this will become one of the largest airport in the world with the modern design. And so just in case you want to come to Cambodia, maybe you have a chance to see it and fly through it. Yes. Okay, so thank you again.
Thank you.